going to call to order the Carson City Airport Authority meeting. I'd like to ask for a roll call, please.
Chair Pulitz,
Present?
Vice Chair Norvell,
Here.
Treasurer Sutton,
Present.
Member Flint, Member Horton, Member Hutter, and Member Stewart. We have a quorum.
Okay. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Harlow, would you like to do it for us?
Please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A copy of the minutes were sent out to all the board members, and you had a chance to review. Do I have someone make a motion that we can approve the minutes from the last meeting? Okay. So it was moved in seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay? None. Okay, minutes approved. Okay, the modification of the agenda. The chairman reserves the right to modify the agenda in order of most effectively process the agenda items. Items may be taken out of order, items may be combined for consideration by the authority, and items may be pulled or removed from the agenda at any time. Under public comment, members of the public who wish to address the airport authority may speak on agendized and non-agendized matters related to the airport. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person or topic. If your item requires extended discussion, please request the chairman to calendar the matter for a future airport authority meeting. Public may provide public comment in advance of a meeting by written submission to the following email address, manager@flycarsoncity.com. For inclusion or reference in the minutes of the meeting, your public comment must include your full name and address and must be submitted via email by not later than 5 p.m. the day before the meeting. The Carson City Airport Authority values your input. Members of the public who wish to provide live public comment may do so during the designated public comment periods indicated on the agenda in person. With that, I'd like to move on to the airport engineers report. Brian, I think I see you have logged in.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, so for our engineers report, a couple projects to update on. We have the RSA drainage shoulders project. We are just completed design, waiting on the final thumbs up from the FAA, and we hope to advertise that for bid here in the coming weeks. But we're again waiting for the FAA on that. The other project that we opened bids on the main apron and taxway preservation project. I think there will be some further discussion in this meeting on that, and so I'll leave that to that discussion. And then otherwise, we are working with the FAA on our upcoming projects as well, which is the North Apron and Taxway Bravo preservation.
Okay. Any questions for Brian? Nope. Well, thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. We'll move on to consent agenda. All of you had a chance to review that unless there's any problems with that. Anybody have any comments? If not, we're going to move on to the...
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Very good. Okay. H1 has been, on advice of council, we're going to go ahead and table H1, this item for this meeting. It requires some additional discussion and investigation. Any comments from the board? Nope. Okay. Then we're going to move on to agenda item number 2, H2. Agenda item H2 for discussion and possible action. Review and discuss changes, if any, to the tentative fiscal year 2026-27 budget and adopt the resulting final budget pursuant to NRS 354.598 And with that, I'd like to ask for a staff summary from Airport Manager Jenkins and Treasurer Sutton.
Okay, so the tentative budget was approved by the Airport Authority on March 18th, 2026, and submitted to the Nevada Department of Taxation on April 13th. Adjustments to the fiscal year 25 actuals were made to align with the audited financial statements between the tentative and the one we're looking at today. Additional changes were made to staff salaries and computer hardware. These were actually very minor changes that were made to the budget. Overall, it's very close to the previous budget. Also, the budget that's being presented today is in the format that it is submitted to the state. So it does look a lot different than what was submitted for the tentative. However, those are the only actual changes between the two. I'm available for any questions. And Jim, if you have anything to add.
No, I think we've been through this. Thank you.
Very good. Any other comments? Do we have any other comments or questions or discussion items for this budget from the board? No? There's no one in the audience? No? Well, because that's simple, do I hear a motion to approve the budget?
I'll move. I move to approve the final FY 2026-2027 budget and authorize staff to transmit it to the Nevada Tax Commission per NRS 354.598. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Agenda item H3 for discussion and possible action. Approval of a conceptual draft through the fence permit for an access point for U.S. Pump and Power Corporation located at 530 Idaho Street, Elko, Nevada, and authorization for the airport manager to pursue FAA concurrence of the concept. Staff summary, please.
Okay, so this item, I want to be pretty clear. We're not asking for approval of a through the fence access permit. This is a request for approval of this concept so that I can present it to the FAA for their review. The buyer of the land is in a contingent agreement with the current owner, and we would not be able to issue the permit with the current ownership the way it is. So this is a way for me to pursue reviewing this with the FAA, with it being clear that the airport authority supports this concept, which the FAA is not interested in me presenting something to them that the airport authority has not reviewed and approved. U.S. Pump and Power Corporation is very interested in moving their manufacturing operation to Carson City. A component of that is they want a through the fence access permit for their Citation Mustang. And this is in an area that's not currently defined on the ALP, but it is a portion of land that has the deed from the Winners Trust. So it has the 9010 requirement for manufacturing. And they are presenting the ideal model for through the fence at Carson City Airport. They will be kind of the customer that through the fence was originally designed for, with the manufacturing operation and a single hangar with the aircraft being owned and operated by the owner of the business for incidental operations using their own aircraft. The area is attached, and you can see that it's along Taxiway Delta towards the approach end of runway 27. And the presented area is, again, just conceptual. This is not a surveyed site plan, but this gives you an idea of where that's at. I do believe that that parcel will actually be amended as a part of this. So this is generally an idea of where it'll be, not necessarily exactly where it's going to be. Let me take a look at my notes here and make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, I'm available for any questions on this item.
Any questions for Corey?
Mr. Chairman, I thought that that vis-a-vis a subsequent agreement that the 90-10 requirement no longer existed.
Not on this land. That only applies to the parcels of land that was negotiated with the owners with already. And that has been subdivided from the original total area.
Oh, it has.
Yes, so
So the people selling the land are not affiliated with they're not successors in interest of the trust?
they are the current owners. And they were not the same owners that we negotiated those conditions with the previous through the fence access permit.
Well, anyway, you guys have looked at it, you know. I just, for some reason, thought that, but anyway,
Yeah, so that only applies to that land east of Bravo,
okay.
not all of the land out there. So it would have to be renegotiated for any other parcels that were not a part of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Only comment I have is it's an absolutely home run use for that land. It's exactly what it was intended to be used for by the city council. It's to attract jobs. It's attract industry. It's going to have
Property taxes, clean, non-polluting.
correct, and they're gonna house a corporate aircraft in there, which was incidental to their actual business, which is exactly what it was intended for. So I really am very pleased about this. I hope we can get this to move forward.
And of course, that airplane, that Mustang would reside on the tax rolls in Carson City.
Yes. Yep. And this is really good all around. What y'all are saying, the intended use for the land. This item is just the beginning. I just want to make that clear. This is not approving the permit itself. And there's still steps that would have to be followed to ensure that this can be approved. And the FAA approval is the biggest component.
This is basically seeking, for lack of a better term, a letter of non-objection from the FAA.
From the FAA, yep.
So that they can go ahead and conclude their deal on the land, knowing that once that's done, they can come back to the board seeking a through the fence access.
Right, and we would revisit this item and
Yeah.
approving the actual permit.
Right.
And it would have a better proposal than this with more specific, exact site plan and all that.
They'd have to pay for the taxi lane and all of the access stuff, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no members of the public to make any comments. Any other comments or questions? No? Okay. I'll call on a member to make a motion.
I move to approve the conceptual draft through the fence permit for an access point serving U.S. Pump and Power Corporation at 530 Idaho Street, Elko, Nevada, and authorize the airport manager to pursue FAA concurrence with the concept, with the understanding that this action approves only the conceptual proposal and does not constitute final approval of a permit or any final operating authorization.
Second.
Okay, unless there's any additional discussion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Curtis, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Very good. Let's get on to, do you want to have, Steve, would you like to do your legal counsel report before manager report since you're online and you're out of, yeah, let's have Steve go first.
If you like, I can do that. Steve Takis, Airport Council. I don't have much to report. I do just want to follow up. We were getting noise complaints from one individual on almost a daily basis. And so in discussion with the airport manager and the chairman, I sent him a letter asking him not to do that anymore. And we got back a very polite and intelligent letter from him. And so once I get back to Nevada and I finish my Navy support obligations here, I'm going to give him a call and talk to him. I think he is well-meaning and a good supportive neighbor. I think it's just the way that he was communicating that was becoming very time intensive for us. In any event, that was the only thing I really wanted to report on.
All right, any questions for Steve? Oh, thanks, Steve. Then we'll move on to airport manager's report.
Okay, so again, I've been working with potential developers for new hangar development. There are a few different developers that are very close to submitting proposals for land on the airport. Yes, land east of Bravos, potentially. It would probably be 3 different sections of it at a time, but it could be a good bit of land in total, depending on what they actually end up presenting. But we're getting very close to that. So hopefully we'll see that soon. I spoke at a Carson City Planning Commission meeting. This meeting was an opportunity to speak about the economic impact of the airport and kind of this was triggered by Hope Sullivan, who is now responsible for economic development in Carson City, and she asked me to come give this presentation. So I was able to present the history of the airport and how the land was acquired for the development of the airport, and how the intended use was to attract these manufacturing companies, and how it's really a success story of a proper utilization of an airport. A lot of people aren't aware of that history in Carson City, and this happened over a really long period of time. And starting back in the 20s, and then with the industrial park being created in the 70s, leading to what we have now today, where we have these manufacturers north of the airport. I believe that. There's no relation.
No?
Yeah, that's correct. I asked her that directly. So that was really good. It was a really good opportunity to explain this to the city and the individuals involved. And I talked highly about some of the specific businesses that are taking advantage of the airport. And I was able to emphasize the importance of protecting the airspace. They asked that question, what could they do to support the airport? And my answer was clear. We need the city to continue to protect the airspace. That's always a very critical concern of ours. Really good opportunity overall. I'm really happy that happened, and that's thanks to Hope. So, there was going to be an additional agenda item this month for a time extension on the Carson Tahoe executive lease off of Charlie. Additional work is required to finalize that item, so we'll be seeing that next month. I will not be pursuing enforcement action on them being behind on their timeline until we see this item. They have been taking efforts to pursue construction on that parcel, and they'll be presenting what those items are at the next board meeting. And I will be supporting them getting additional time. As long as they're able to demonstrate to us that they're making forward progress, I think we should support these companies when we can. However, they do need to demonstrate that they're making forward progress. So we'll be seeing that on the next agenda item, on the next agenda next month. I reviewed a landscaping plan for Eagle Valley Airport development. The plan itself looks great, but I did have some comments, and we're going to be continuing to review the best way to move forward with this. I'm going to try to schedule a meeting with the city and with the developer on this particular item. This is one of the last items that they need to accomplish to start construction on their parcel. We're doing work in preparation for the airport open house, which will be October 10th this year. And Kim Pilot is the chair of the planning committee, and she's working hard on getting that planned and done. Fuel flowage. These numbers are not correct for the past couple of months, and that is primarily driven by a staff issue with one of the FBOs, and that has been corrected, and I suspect they'll be more timely on the reports moving forward. We actually did get the necessary reports to have the correct information today, so they'll I suspect they'll be more timely with those reports moving forward. The operations numbers are correct, and they are attached here for y'all's review. So we were missing both March and April, and that has been updated now. Detailed charts of those numbers are also attached. And I'm available for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious, did the flight check happen on May, I think it was May 6th?
I have not received confirmation that that flight was related to the nighttime approach or not. But there was a flight check performed on the approach. But I don't know if that was a routine check or if it was actually related to the nighttime approval.
Well, they just don't tell you much, huh?
They don't tell me much.
Yeah, okay.
I asked the pilots themselves while they were flying to give me as much information as they could, and they just told me they were checking the approach and the PAPIs, and that was all I got. So I'll be happy when they say they're actually looking at it. So we'll see. It may have been related. It's definitely the same equipment. So hopefully that's a positive move in the right direction.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay, let's move on to treasurer's report. Jim?
No, basically, we wrapped up a whole bunch of work. So thank you, everybody, for reviewing it and approvals. I think we're good to go for another year at this point. I don't have any other comments than that.
Questions for Jim? All right. If there are no more questions, any last comments before we call an adjournment? Nope. Then with that, I call this meeting adjourned.